Hi everyone. This video is not a book review video. It is also not a Renaissance video. I would call it a special event video. And the reason I'm doing it is because I went on YouTube just looking at some videos to watch, and in the far left corner there was a little sign that said, "Celebrate World Tarot Day." And if you don't know, or maybe I haven't told you before, but I love the tarot, and I could not let this day pass without telling you about my experiences with the tarot and everything that I have learned from it ever since I started utilizing it in my life. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be sharing with you some of the experiences I have had with the tarot, as far as like readings I've done and various things, how I began with the tarot. I'll also show you some of the books I have in my collection on it and some of my decks that I have in my possession right now. So before I get started on all of that, if you don't know what the tarot is, I'm going to read to you a brief description of what the tarot is from this book, Tarot Made Easy. It says, simply put, tarot cards are a means of predicting events or receiving guidance in both our inner spiritual and outer manifest world. Every tarot deck consists of 78 cards. Not all decks are alike, but all decks have 3 basic principles in common, even though the cards, symbols, and interpretations may vary. Traditionally, the major arcana depicts the greater events in our lives, while the minor arcana and court arcana depict the more mundane, everyday aspects. Now, nobody, from what I've seen, nobody really knows exactly how old the tarot is. There's some debate on where its original origins, that's kind of repetitive, where its original origins came from. I did at one point take an online tarot course through the St. Louis County Library, and it was through a program they had called Universal Class, and you learned about the history of the tarot. They say the word tarot comes from tarocchi, which was an actual card game, but the actual tarot is older than that card game and also that word. As far as readers, before I get into my experiences, before I get too far into this video, I want to shout out a reader on YouTube named Dr. The Oracle. She's a very good reader. I've gotten some readings from her as well. Very, very intuitive lady. So she has a YouTube channel, so I'm going to post in the comments section her YouTube channel, and you can go check out her videos, or you can go subscribe to her channel if you wish. The other tarot reader that I really liked a lot, or watching a lot, was Tarot Victoria, but that's because she grew up with tarot, like I believe in from when she was a child. So those are 2 readers that you can check out if you are looking for people to get readings from. But anyway, my history with the tarot. I did not get honestly introduced to the tarot until 2010, or a little after 2010. I am the only occultist in my family. My family doesn't know I'm involved with the occult. I've always had an interest in it. Both sides of my family are religious. My mother's side is like Baptist. My father's side is probably Baptist, or like a mixture of other Christian religions. So I'm the only one that I know of on both sides that is involved in metaphysics and the occult. So most of the things I do are very low-key. I have excuses for everything. If they ask anything, I'll just gloss it over with something. And the same happened with my tarot cards. So I say 2010 because 2010 I can't remember, was I a junior in college? So most of my metaphysical practices happened during college and not when I was in high school or when I was living with my mother. Where I was at living with my mother in St. Charles, Missouri, I didn't have a car. I didn't know how to drive. I still don't know how to drive, but I'm, practicing. But there was only one metaphysical store that I could reach by bus, by the SCAT bus, which is not a bus system at all. And this metaphysical store was called the Enchanted Attic. And it was on Main Street. I guess it's still open. I haven't checked. It was my first exposure to crystals and my first exposure to oracle cards and tarot cards. Now, mind you, I had no idea what oracle cards were. I had no idea what tarot cards were, and I really didn't know anything about crystals. I actually wasn't even seeking that place. I wandered in. And something in there just sparked something in me that had already been there. I had always wanted to be in the occult ever since I was a child. I remember as a child, I was 5, I said, I am a witch. And I tried practicing witchcraft from age 5 through 11 very diligently. But nobody believed me. They just thought I was just imagining things. But it's strange how everything I did as a child actually turned out to be an actual thing in the occult that I found out as an adult. So the Enchanted Attic had a lot of crystals. It had a lot of oracle cards. I believe I may have gotten my first oracle card deck from there. Honestly, I don't know who told me about oracle cards. I don't know if I found it out through YouTube or if I found it out outside, because my memory during that time is kind of foggy. So the first thing before the oracle cards I collected were crystals. My mother was like, what are these? And I'm like, oh, just pretty rocks. I have a rock collection. I started off with crystals. The first oracle card deck that I had, I don't know which one it was, but it was by Doreen Virtue. And Doreen Virtue, if you don't know her, she was a very big celebrity in the New Age arena. She had tons and tons and tons of oracle cards and tons and tons and tons of tarot cards. She had oracle cards on angels, oracle cards on fairies and unicorns and all different mythical creatures and yes and no. And she had angel therapy workshops. You could become an angel therapy practitioner. She had a lot of videos where she would do her readings on YouTube. But it wasn't until, I don't remember what year it was. Oh my God. Was it like 2016? It was either 2016 or 2017. I don't remember. It was around that time where she literally did a whole, I don't know if it was 360 or 180. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm not good at math. But she did a whole reversal from what she was speaking about. She completely denounced the tarot. She completely denounced oracle cards. And she became like a Christian or something. So now if you look up, try to find any of her videos, you will not find any of her videos. She's not making any more cards. She's doing speaking engagements related to like the dangers of New Age and turning to Jesus and all of that. But you will find videos on people speaking about like her denouncing the tarot. And a lot of people were really, really upset about that in the New Age, New Thought arena. But anyway, so 2010, I got deeper into oracle cards. I started watching Doreen Virtue's oracle card readings, and I stumbled across 2 oracle card readers on this website called the 100-Day Reality Challenge. Now, this channel right here is my third YouTube channel. I know. I had one YouTube channel that I had for a couple of years, and then I deleted that and started a second one, which I deleted last year. But on the 100-day reality challenge, there were 2 readers that I listened to. One was Anna Frolik. Anna Frolik. She has a YouTube channel, so I'll probably post hers in the description box or the comments. And then Christina Sander, she did oracle card readings too, so I will watch both of them. And because I was away from my mother and away from where nobody could monitor me, I started ordering my own cards. And somewhere along the line, I got into tarot. I wanted something more challenging than oracle cards. At the time, I was getting more exposure on how tarot worked. Like, I started reading books on tarot. I started watching videos on it. I didn't realize that it had its own little, like the wands represented something and the cups represented something. I was just green. I was brand new to all of it. I did not know there was so much that you could possibly do with the tarot that I didn't learn on YouTube. I learned just from reading about it. And that's what made me excel in it. I also, my old best friend was in the tarot. So she was a really, really cold tarot reader, like so accurate. She also helped me evolve when it came to the tarot as well. So now my current time or state that I'm doing with the tarot is I've taken a break from it for maybe 2 years. So now that I'm back on my spiritual journey, I'm going to start doing it more consistently like I did in the past. I used to actually do the tarot every day. I would do a reading on myself every single day. I would do readings on other people. I did not have that many people come to me for readings because I never advertised readings. I only had a handful of people that would like contact me like, Kiara, I need a reading now. I need a reading now. One was my old best friend. One was my other old best friend. I don't know what happened to him, but like he would contact me a couple of times a month and ask me questions in relation to the tarot, like where should he move to? What should he do? Should he go to this school? Should he go to that school? And I will give him a reading. And what's interesting about that friend was we were both born in August, and anything that would happen to him would happen to me because we had 3 signs in the same house. Like, it's crazy. But if you are starting with tarot, realize that somewhere out there, there's a tarot deck for you. I don't know if I said this earlier. My memory's become kind of short, but I have maybe 20 decks, and maybe a little over 20 decks that are a mixture of oracle cards and tarot cards. I only have a handful of decks here and a handful of books on the tarot here because all of my decks are in Hawaii and all of my books are in Hawaii too. So I have to get all of that shipped back to me, and I'm just really missing my decks. But if you're starting, there's so much variety to choose from. There is literally a deck for everybody. You have tarot decks about cats, tarot decks for women, tarot decks for Black people. I have an African American tarot in Hawaii. There's ones that are just chakras. There's ones that's just colors. There's one that's like your sexual orientation. One's about flowers. One's for herbs. Any subject matter that you can think of, there is a tarot deck for it. At one time, I wanted to make my own deck, but I haven't. I'm sure near the end of my life, I'll have enough paintings on the tarot, but right now I'm going to pause and show you two of the images I've created for the first two cards of the tarot. Now, even this YouTube channel, Page Turning Priestess, is named after a tarot card, which is the High Priestess. I am a master number 11, so that equals a 2. And according to one tarot book that I have, this will be my card. And anytime I read for myself, if this card flies out, that means it's saying Kiara. Kiara. And I'm like, oh, it's me. Okay, I see. Sometimes, if you read long enough, the tarot will designate a card for a particular person. So I had a friend who, if the King of Wands came out in a reading for him, it was like him. I had an ex, if the Fool came out, that was talking about him. Some of the decks that I have, I'm going to show you both my Oracle card decks and my tarot decks. Like I said, I have over 20 of them. However, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So, this deck is a Rider-Waite deck. It's very classic. There's different versions of it as well. It was illustrated by Pamela Coleman Smith, who is part of the New Dawn. Also, Aleister Crowley, who was part of the New Dawn, has his own tarot deck, which is called the Thought Tarot. Very beautiful artwork in there too. But yeah, this is it. If a card is in reverse, that means it's upside down. Pentacles or coins, depending on who you ask, means money. Anytime I see this card, like a hand, it always says a hand issuing from the sky. I interpret that as the hand of God or the universe. One of my favorite cards from the decks are the Eight of Wands, because the Eight of Wands to me represents speed. It's like, it's coming fast, it's coming fast. Yeah, that was a horrible joke. I mean, wasn't even trying to make a joke. I also like the Wheel of Fortune because even if you turn it in reverse, it's still a lucky card. Or at least according to me. This one is a classic deck. A lot of people will illustrate their own tarot decks based off of these illustrations. They might revise it, but it'll be the same type of image. Others will go in a completely opposite direction. They'll be like, I'm just going to make my own picture. And you know what? That's okay. This one is called the Psychic Tarot Oracle card deck, which I'm just like, it's a 65 card deck and guidebook, which is strange because, you know, the tarot is 78 cards, but I guess it's not the real one. But it has like new beginnings, very beautiful artwork. A lot of these cards are very, very beautiful. If you get a deck that really calls out to you, feel free to get it. Love begins. Another one. And after I show you my books, I'm going to go into some of my reading experiences. This one, Elena Fairchild, Kali Oracle. I really like Kali. And this one comes with a little guidebook. Most tarot decks will come with a guidebook. to tell you like what the card means, and it also gives you layouts for the cards or spreads. So spread is like a layout, and you have certain cards in certain positions. You flip it over and you look at the answer. I did a spread on Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie before both of them were found. It was a missing person spread, and I did one on both of them. I cannot remember the exact order the cards were in, like for which questions, but I know I was like, where are they? And I kept getting the death card. I kept getting, I don't know which one it was, the Ten of Wands? It might have been the Ten of Wands. We're carrying a burden, just a very toxic relationship that was full of burdens and emotional trauma. So when I said, where are they? Like, I assumed that she was dead. I assumed. So I wasn't surprised when my spread showed that she was dead. But when I asked where Brian was, and it was like saying he was dead, I was like, no, he's not dead. Nah, he can't be dead. Nah, he's not. So 2 days after that reading, they found Gabby Petito dead. And then, not long after that, they found Brian Laundrie dead. So I was like, oh, I guess the tarot proved me wrong. Because I really thought that dude was alive. I wasn't expecting that. So yeah, this is the Kali Oracle, and it has beautiful images or beautiful paintings of Kali. Beautiful. Beautiful. Ooh. So powerful. I really love this company. What is it called? Blue Angel, because they have some really beautiful artists for their oracle card decks. Like, I wish I could just make them into posters for real and hang it in my room. This one is the Ascension cards, and it is by Diana Cooper. It's Accelerate Your Journey to the Light, and it's 52 cards, so I guess it's like for 52 weeks of the year. And each card offers a description of a specific ascension energy or ascended master. I think I gotta have a goddess oracle card deck too. But you go through the deck and it'll be like the 12 chakras, animals, Mother Mary's aquamarine mantle. And it has an affirmation at the bottom of each of the cards. The next deck, the final one, hold on one second. Ooh, okay, I'm more comfortable. Is called the Sibyl's Oraculum, Oracle of the Black Doves of Africa. And I have not worked with this oracle card deck, honestly, but I just know like I have to make time for it because it seems very powerful. It's 44 cards. It has like beautiful imagery. It also goes into the history of the Black Sibyls. It comes with a book. Nice little size book. It talks about the symbols, the religio-mythological association, the core issues, and how to work it. Usually, if you ever get an oracle card or tarot card deck, it'll give you a spread. Sometimes it'll be like, this is how you use the cards. This is how many cards you can pull, and blah, 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 blah. But once you get to a certain level where you're comfortable and you have a lot of confidence in yourself, you can just make your own spreads for real. Now the two tarot card books that I have, I only have two with me. The rest are in Hawaii. I have a lot of them in Hawaii because, like I said, I get obsessed with the tarot. So, the first book I'll show you is The Tarot Made Easy. Get immediate, specific answers to your most pressing questions with this amazingly simple new method. And it's by Nancy Guerin. What I like about this book is she goes into the symbols of the major arcana, the minor arcana. When you have, let's say, a card like the Chariot, she goes into what it means for each one. So, like in a reading, the number 7, which because it's a 7 card, the focus, the desire, romance, unexpected, others, the home, travel, papers, work, career, unions, and so on and so forth. It's very, very detailed. And I liked this book, and I would use it for readings on myself. And I would use, if I ever did a reading on myself and I needed more clarity, I would get all of my tarot books and I would look to see if there was a pattern. This book, Tarot Spells by Janina Renee, I've used some of the spells out of this book and they're really, really good. I don't know if I've done a book review on it, but I did get the Oracle card deck that she used, which was, I can't remember from the top of my head, but I have it in Hawaii, and I got it specifically for this book in particular, and I would use it whenever I would do a reading. She has spells in here on, like, love, enemies, beauty spells. She has 2 beauty spells, which I actually like. One for anti-aging, and another for just, like, let me see, for a woman, for help in working toward beauty, health, and fitness, and also for a man, to project charm, to enhance attractiveness, particularly sexual attractiveness, to preserve beauty and health, and to delay aging, and also to help reverse the aging process and recapture lost beauty. So, I've used this one. I think it is a great book. I need to start using it again and utilize it in my life. So now that I have shown you all of that, let me share with you some of my tarot experiences. I have not done, okay, I haven't really done a reading in a long time. I never charge for readings, even though people have been like, Yara, you need to read for others. I don't put myself out there because I don't want my family to find out anything. And if I did that and I got a following, they would find out. So that's why I don't publicize it. That's why I don't do it that often. But the last reading that I did, and I shared this story with you before, last reading I did was on this girl. It was her first tarot card reading. I got traumatized from this reading too. I don't remember what cards I pulled. It was in my 3rd apartment before I went off to Hawaii. And all of the cards I pulled, I do remember were just very, very negative. So I said, you need to watch the people around you because you're in danger. I don't know why I said you're in danger, because I never say that in a reading. It must have just come out of my mouth. I'm like, you need to, stop. You need to watch out who's around you because you're in danger. And I did not know this because this happened in my apartment. Her friend, who was also my friend, brought her to my apartment to get the reading. I didn't know that after she left my apartment, she vomited outside. I didn't know that. Or she vomited somewhere else because she was so disturbed. A week later, and I found out maybe a few weeks after this happened, a week later, she had a falling out with her friend. Her friend stole all of her credit cards and cut up all of her credit cards, her best friend. And then the guy that she was dating threw her out of the house and then beat her in the front yard. I'm just like, oh my God. I've done readings on myself a lot to time things. In the past, when I was doing tarot frequently and I was very obsessed with it, I would use it to spy on people, and I would use it to get information about people, which I actually regret now. I could have used it for better things, but I was being petty. So one person I would spy on at the time was my ex, and I would spy on him myself, and my friend would also spy on him too. She was the one, as I said, she was a very cold reader. She actually, um, the tarot told her about a baby a year before the baby was even conceived. That's how cold she was. She would predict when people were coming towards me, all of that. Now, me, what I would do, I would predict like what was going on with him and where he was, and like where was he at, what type of work was he doing, what was going on in his little relationship, because the person he had gone with was one of my friends, or so-called friends. Like, I really didn't like her. Like, I don't know what I did to her, but she just always hated me. She tried to take my one boyfriend, and then she took the second boyfriend. So I would be like, what's going on? Like, and time it by the seasons. I'd be like, okay, right now they're going through this right now. There's going through arguments and bickering and blah, 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 blah. And I did not know that what I was reading was accurate. I was just like, okay, I'm sure it's going to happen like that. And whatever I read did happen like that. So I would time through the seasons. I would do like, okay, this person is coming towards them. They're arguing about this. He's thinking this. She's thinking that. I also did one reading on her, the girl, before I saw her at this funeral that she tried to fight me at, or start an argument with me at a funeral for no reason. I don't know why. She just could have gone somewhere else. But I did a reading on this funeral because I was going to be doing the eulogy. So I didn't know if she was going to be there. I did a reading on it, and the tarot told me that yes, she would be there, and what the end result for me would be. So I had the Three of Hearts, or no, the Three of Swords, and I also had I want to say it was the Seven of Wands, if that's the right card, the Seven of Wands, where there's a bunch of sticks or a bunch of wands trying to hit him, but he's overcoming the battle. So essentially, the card reading said she's going to be there, but you will be protected and you will come out on top. And that's exactly what happened. That's just how it happened. I thought we had reconciled at the funeral. I even made her a plate, but apparently, like, she still avoided me like the plague. So let's see. There was another reading I did where I'm like, who's in my way? Who's my enemy? Who's blocking me, or what is blocking me? In regards to living situations. I also did a reading on who robbed my house. I was on the bus. I had just had a break-in at my very first apartment. And I was like, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? I was asking the reader, or the tarot. And for some reason, the moon came out. And at that time, I felt that that card selection was an omen. So I'm looking at the moon card, being like, why is this an omen? Like, what is going on? Like, do you mean they know me? 2 seconds after, I see that card on the bus. This man I don't know gets on the bus. He sits next to me. He's like, hi, Kiara. And I'm like, hi. And he's like, I know who stole your laptop. Like, boy, how did you know I had a home break-in? So we got into a major argument on the bus. He wanted me to pay him to tell me who stole my laptop or something. I don't even know how he knew. I don't know who this man was. I don't know how he knew my name. But that let me know that it was somebody that I knew, which turned out to be my next door neighbor. I know it was him because the tarot told me. You can also use the tarot for spell work, as in tarot spells. I've incorporated it into a lot of my workings that I've done in the past. You can use the tarot to get messages from dreams. You can also use it as a talisman if you want, like carrying it on you, because essentially the tarot has its own energy. Most people don't let others touch their deck. They try to keep it wrapped. You can knock on it to clear it. You can sage it to clear it. You can put it in a selenite bowl to clear it. I usually just like knock on mine, sage mine, pray over it, and various things. But that is what I do. But yeah, I can't think of any more tarot stories. For at least for me, right now at this time, the only dealings I've been doing with the tarot are getting other people to read for me, because I feel personally I'm too close to a situation to get any type of information out of it that isn't emotionally charged with my emotion. As I said, sometimes the tarot will designate a card to represent someone. As I stated earlier, like when the High Priestess card comes out, there it's talking about me. It's like you, Kiara. But it can also be influenced by your emotions and your thoughts. When I do a reading, I try to clear my mind. I clear my cards, I clear my mind. If it's a reading for someone else, I ask for protection from my ancestors. I ask for protection and accuracy from the other person's ancestors. I emphasize benevolent ancestors and also benevolent energies around them, because sometimes it's not just ancestors. Sometimes it's the energies around them. And like the benevolent energies that have their best interests at heart. Give me a clear and accurate answer. Give me a clear and accurate answer. I'll say it over and over and over. Give me a clear and accurate answer. Sometimes a card will fly out. I'll put the card to the side and I'll do my spread. I'll tell the person, say stop whenever you want me to stop. If it's by myself, I'll hear stop in my mind, and then I'll lay out my card or my card spread and get my message. You can use it for spiritual growth. You can use it for meditation. You can look at the cards and be like, what does this symbol mean? What does that symbol mean? Like Pamela Coleman Smith, this is her. So ironic that she was at the top of the deck. She must want me. This is her. Very, very intelligent artist. Very intuitive. She put a lot of symbols in these cards. Like names, like even the High Priestess card. You got the, I think this is the pomegranates. You got one pillar with an initial and another pillar. You have the cross and I want to say the symbol, the triple. It's like the moon, another moon, the ocean in the background. If you're using the Rider-Waite deck, they'll be like, oh, this group has red hair, this represents this, and this represents this level of life. The page represents that, and the knight represents that. They're moving fast, they're moving slow. You can learn a lot about being observant from just reading the tarot, looking at the cards, meditating on them. Even the magician is pointing upwards. The magician is pointing downwards. As above, so below. You have the infinity symbol, the never-ending cycle of manifestation in the universe. You have all of the symbols of the tarot on the table. There's the wands, and some people call it clubs, coins or pentacles, the cups, and the swords. They say that the coins or the pentacles, depending on who you're asking. For me, the coins or the pentacles represent prosperity. They represent manifestation, being paid for what you want, fortune, good fortune, and all sorts of things that are related to like sustenance and, wealth. The cups are emotion. The cups are what is in your heart and in your soul. The wands, for me, they represent the earth, the physical material realm. You can also use it as a defense because, it's a wand. So it's like, oh, I can block you. I can do all of that. Speed, sometimes it's speed, sometimes it's slow. The swords, I guess air. Whenever I think of the swords, I don't think of air. I just think of the mind, the mental, the cutting through. It's like getting straight to the point. Just accuracy, swords, battle. But calculation. But yeah, I also love the magician card. When I did my magician painting, I made the magician a girl, but I tried to make sure to put all of the symbols of the tarot in there. But I hope you all have a wonderful National World Tarot Day. I hope that you learned a lot, and thank you for listening to my story. I'll talk to you all later. Bye, everyone.